conflict in Gaza has escalated dramatically, with Israeli forces intensifying airstrikes and initiating ground operations in both northern and southern regions of the enclave. This surge in military activity follows the collapse of a two-month ceasefire, plunging the region back into turmoil. On March 18, 2025, Israel launched a surprise attack on the Gaza Strip, effectively ending the ceasefire. The Israeli military, citing Hamas's refusal to release hostages and alleged plans for new attacks, initiated extensive airstrikes targeting Hamas leadership and infrastructure. These strikes resulted in over 400 Palestinian deaths, including 263 women and children, marking one of the deadliest days in the ongoing conflict. In retaliation, Hamas fired rockets towards Tel Aviv, marking their first offensive since the ceasefire's collapse. The Israeli military reported that one rocket was intercepted by air defenses, while the others landed in open areas, causing no casualties. In northern Gaza, the destruction has left families in constant state of fear and exhaustion. Many residents barely manage a few hours of sleep each night, their minds consumed by uncertainty about what the next day will bring. Even the most basic human necessities, food, water, and shelter, have become unattainable luxuries. The mental and emotional toll is just as devastating as the physical destruction. Parents who once took pride in providing for their children now feel powerless, watching their sons and daughters grow weaker each day. The exhaustion is overwhelming, and the sense of helplessness deepens as they witness their loved ones suffer without relief. For those trapped in Gaza, this is no longer just about war. It is about survival. Inside Gaza's remaining operational hospitals, medical workers are battling to keep up with the relentless influx of wounded civilians. In a matter of hours, it was reported that one hospital alone received more than 250 critical injured patients, far exceeding its capacity. Medical teams are forced to make heartbreaking decisions about who can be saved. Some children arrive at the hospitals with injuries so severe that doctors have no choice but to pronounce them dead. The majority of injuries are reported to be caused by blasts and shrapnels, with children making up nearly half of the patients. The international community has expressed deep concern over the renewed violence. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for an immediate ceasefire, emphasizing the need for an unimpeded humanitarian access and the release of hostages. Turkey has announced plans to intensify diplomatic efforts aimed at reinstating the ceasefire and halting the bloodshed. President Tayyip Erdogan reaffirmed Turkey's support for the Palestinian people and commitment to peace initiatives. Mediation attempts by Egypt and Qatar have yet to yield a sustainable truce as both sides remain entrenched in their positions. International negotiators expressed frustration at the lack of action from the international community. There was once a structured plan in place for a phased ceasefire, reconstruction, and a long-term resolution, but political interest and external pressures have derailed the process at every turn. Hamas is currently reviewing the latest ceasefire proposal presented by Egypt and Qatar. The plan, which had gained backing from the US and other mediators, however, the latest ceasefire has raised concerns as it only guarantees a 50-day ceasefire without addressing key issues such as prisoner releases or the long-term political resolution. For Hamas, this offer appears to be nothing more than a temporary pause rather than a genuine step towards lasting peace. As the conflict continues, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is expected to worsen. The international community's role in mediating a ceasefire and addressing the underlying issues remains crucial. Without renewed diplomatic efforts and mutual concessions, the prospect of lasting peace remains elusive, leaving civilians to bear the brunt of the ongoing violence. Ephraim Agbo, reporting for Puff TV.
People of the Fountain.